What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. What's good? This is your boy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on another dose, another episode, another edition of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. And I'm super grateful to be here with you guys, man. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. The content, the energy, the culture, the community, none of this moves without you guys. The vibes aren't right. The vibes aren't electric. We can't set the tone without you guys. So I want you to understand your power in this space. Understand where you stand in this thing, right? You know, you got some content creators who think they're above the fan. They think they're above their supporters. Not I. I'm a regular guy just like you. You feel what I'm saying? And we're all trying to build our own respective businesses and go after our own endeavors, right? The consumer is always king. The people are always king, right? So we're going to do everything possible on this platform to pour back into the people, just how you guys pour into the platform. You guys pour into Chalk It Up Sports. So again, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. If you live for the applause, you'll die by the silence. You feel what I'm saying? Let's just keep the energy right. Let's keep it going, man. Let's make sure we setting the table and we're making this community welcoming for everybody. You dig me? I don't care if it's an op, the opposing team, a rival. Talk your trash, of course. Make them uncomfortable, but make sure that we try to keep it all on football. And it's just that simple with me, man. I appreciate y'all so much. Again, smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed, man. We got some things to talk about today. The Eagles are coming off of a very dominant win. More than dominant. I mean, convincing. It was an obliteration. It was an embarrassment for the opposing team. Just flat out made them look like they didn't belong in the NFL. And they did all of that without even having Jalen Hurts on the field. And just imagine when the brother comes back, right? We haven't heard any updates yet about Jalen Hurts' health, not that I know of, but I would like to believe he'll be good to go against the Giants in Week 18. I don't want Jalen Hurts going into that game or going into the playoffs with 2 weeks off. I don't. That's just me. I want Jalen Hurts going into the playoffs with a win under his belt, going into the playoffs with some momentum, some energy, some good things on tape. You know what I mean? I don't want Jalen Hurts going into the playoffs cold, coming off of a concussion. You feel what I'm saying? I need him to get that first hit out of the way. You know what I mean? So that's just my mindset when it comes to the Jalen Hurts aspect of it, right? But you guys saw the thumbnail. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about this defense because this defense, outside of a uncharacteristic loss to Washington, this Eagles defense has been lights out dominantly for most of the year, right? The first 4 weeks were up and down, right? There were aspects about this defense that we did like in those first 4 weeks. You know, we really liked the fact that the red zone defense was pretty much top tier. We noticed that pretty early, right? We noticed there was a difference in the defensive back play, right? We saw little intricacies about this defense that gave us reason to be optimistic. Obviously, that Saints game was the first precursor. The Saints game was the prototype, or they were patient zero. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that was the nexus of this defense that we see today, the defense that we know and love, a defense that went from being one of the worst defenses in the league to being unequivocally the best defense in football as far as total defense goes. So we're going to spend some time talking about that, breaking it down, getting into the whole notion that this team will go as far as the defense takes them. I know the sexy thing is to say that this team will go as far as Jalen Hurts takes them. This team will go as far as the offense takes them, or Saquon Barkley. I know that's the sexy conversation that a lot of people want to have, but I'm of a different mindset here, because when I saw what we did in 2022, offense was never the problem. We're going to always be able to put up points. That's not a question. We're the Philadelphia fucking Eagles. You got Jalen Hurts at quarterback. You got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Gardner, Grant Calcaterra, who's emerging, right? Saquon Barkley now with this offensive line. Kenny G backing them up. I mean, we're the Philadelphia Eagles. Offense isn't a question. Even last season when we went through all those issues, offense wasn't really the question per se, because we still was putting up points. It was still technically a top 10 offense, right? Maybe we didn't like how it looked most times, but it was a top 10 offense nonetheless. The outlier, or the sore thumb, was the defense. We couldn't stop anybody. We couldn't keep points off the board, and it was regularly exposing the limitations of our offensive play calling and so on and so forth. And obviously, Jalen Hurts had his fair share of turnover issues last year, right? But, you know, when your defense can't stop anybody, you're going to try to overcompensate for that. So we get to the 2024 season, the 2024-2025 campaign, and we're about to embark on another Super Bowl run that I had the utmost confidence in. We got to think about it from the perspective of, A, has offense ever really been the question for us the past few years? Have we really questioned whether or not we could put up points? No, that wasn't really the case. Our biggest questions were, how consistent can our defense be? If you ask me. In 2022, when we made it to the Super Bowl, what happened? Right? Divisional round, your defense steps up. NFC Championship, your defense steps up. Super Bowl, your defense lays an egg. They lay an egg. And it wasn't like they had an awful first half, but that second half was just putrid. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. They couldn't plug a leak. They couldn't stop at a red light. They struggled to stop arguably the best quarterback we've ever seen in Patrick Mahomes. And some people say, hey, it's Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. There's no shame in that. You took him down to the wire. Jalen Hurts balled out in the Super Bowl. Numerically outplayed Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes is the victor. And the victor is the one who writes history. To the victor goes the spoils. So although Jalen Hurts did what he did in the Super Bowl, it doesn't even matter because you lose the game. But I think we know unequivocally Jalen Hurts, you saw that game and you say to yourself, damn, You can't play no better than that. But the defense, yeah, that's the problem, or that was the problem. But this defense feels different than the 2022 defense, does it not? This defense feels different. They're forcing more turnovers, if I'm not mistaken, and they're getting them in bunches. Maybe the pass rush was better in 2022. We could argue that because they broke some records and they had like a 70-sack season, which doesn't happen normally. Haven't seen that since the 80s. So the pass rush was definitely elite at the time. You had Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox was still here. You had Javon Hargrave. But we lacked in other areas, and we didn't realize it until it was too late. TJ Edwards and Kaiser White, they were steady all throughout that year. And I'm a TJ Edwards fan. I did not want us to move on from TJ Edwards. Nonetheless, we did. And I thought that haunted us in 2023. Then the DBs, right? Darius Slade, James Bradbury, Marcus Epps, CJ Gardner Johnson, Reed Blankenship, they played well up into that Super Bowl. The communication was awful. The second half, they were awful. They didn't know their right from their left. But we weren't as talented at that point. We weren't as athletic as we are now. You got some young studs in this defense now. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, right? Reed Blankenship is taking his game to another level. CJ Gardner Johnson is picking up where he left off, taking his game to another level. His leadership is elevated beyond belief. Darius Slay's career has been revitalized to a degree, right? Darius Slade, despite him dealing with his little ticky-tack injuries throughout the season, he's been very steady at the position. Who would have thought Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell would be what they've been, right? Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond, arguably the stories of the season. Who would have thought they would be the best linebacker tandem in football? That's not debatable. Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond have been the best and the most consistent linebacker tandem in football. That's not a question. Both of those guys are playing well above what we expected. And the pass rush is still getting home. Forcing fumbles, tackles for loss, quarterback hits, right? They may not be getting as many sacks as they were in 2022, but I believe that in 2022, this team was very front heavy, if that makes sense. They were led by that defensive line. And if that defensive line wasn't able to get home, it exposed the limitations of your linebackers and it exposed the limitations of your DBs at the time. In particular, a guy like James Bradbury and Marcus Epps. But now I believe this team is significantly more balanced. Significantly more balanced than they were before. I think that goes without question. And I think they're receiving better coaching this go around. You don't turn one of the worst defenses in football, being ranked 30th, into the best defense in football in a season. That's insane. If there was an award for Defensive Coordinator of the Year, Vic Fangio would sweep that thing, no questions asked. It wouldn't even be a debate. It wouldn't even be a vote. It would just, hey, Vic, here you go. To turn what we saw last year into the number one defense in football, you can't make that up. None of us saw it that way. So again, I think if the Eagles want to get where they want to get to, if they're going to go where we expect them to go, I believe this defense has to lead the charge because I know the offense is going to put up points. I know that. I know the offense is going to put up points. But you got to keep points off the board, and they've done that consistently, except for an outlier game. Except for an outlier game, and again, it's the NFL. It happens. It happens, so we're never going to dwell on it. So I think this defense is the key. This defense is the magic elixir, the potion. This defense holds the infinity gauntlet. The fate of the Philadelphia Eagles' playoff success A Super Bowl run rests on the side of this defense. I know what Saquon Barkley is going to do. I know what Jalen Hurts and these wide. I know what they're going to do. And this defense has put up enough tape that we should know and we should expect what they're going to do. But the playoffs are a tricky bitch. They're a tricky bitch. And you're going to be going up against some teams who are laying it all out on the line. You're going to get every team's best shot. Like CJGJ said. You know, when I talk to the rookies about, or when I talk to the young guys about what it means to go to the playoffs, I'll tell them, listen, the air get a little thicker, the fans get a little drunker, the lights get a little brighter, there's more cameras. But at the end of the day, go out there, have fun, do your job, live in the moment, be where your feet are. And I'm paraphrasing what he said to the media, but CJGJ is right. And I love what he said after this game. The level of accountability he took for his role in week 16. And then showing up the way he did in week 17 yesterday with 2 interceptions, a pick 6 to add into the pocket. Playing the way he's played since the bye week, the way this defense has played since the bye week, but in particular, the way CJGJ has played since the bye week, you have to give that brother his flowers. You have to acknowledge CJGJ is one of the best safeties in football, one of the best ball hawks in football, one of the best playmakers in football. Say what you want about him. You may not like his personality. You may not like how abrasive he is. You may not like the shit talking. But guess what? He delivers. And guys follow him. Guys believe in him. When he talks, they listen. After we beat the Saints in, what was that, week 3? After we beat the Saints in week 3, you know what he said after that game? After holding the Saints to what, 12 points, 9 points, whatever the hell it was, you know what he said? He said, we the best defense in the league. We the best secondary in the league. Y'all gonna realize it, though. Y'all gonna realize it. And it's so funny when he said that, a lot of people tried to kill him. A lot of people tried to say, hey, you don't say that. That's not what you say. You know, you got to have more respect for the opponent, or you got to have more decorum. You know, you got to be where your feet are, and, you know, you got to take it one game at a time and all that kind of stuff. Listen, what people fail to understand when it came to CJGJ making that comment, I don't know if you guys remember that comment. He said it after the Saints game. I don't know if all you guys remember. But he said it then, that we're the best defense in football. We have the best secondary in football. He said it then, and he meant it. But a lot of y'all thought he was saying that to be a shock jock. A lot of you guys thought he said that to just ruffle feathers, or to just be his abrasive, brash self. No, he wasn't saying that for us. He wasn't saying that so we could believe it or for our benefit. He was saying it for his young boys in the building. He was saying it for those guys that he running with, that he practiced Monday through Saturday with, that he in the mud with, that he in the war zone with. The guys that he'll take a hit for, take a bullet for. You feel what I'm saying? And I mean that figuratively. He wasn't saying that for us. That wasn't for us. That was for them, because he understands the power of belief. He understands the power of sticking to your fundamentals. He understands the power of when you got something and you see it, you got to pour into that. So again, that wasn't for us. That wasn't for a rival. That wasn't for the opponents to get in their feelings. That was about making your young boys, that was about making your team believe, I see what I see and I know what I know. I need y'all to be on the same page with me. I know how great we can be. I know how great we can be. We can replicate this. We can mass produce this. We can string this together over a 10-game winning streak. This is what we're capable of. Believe it. And if you don't believe it, get the hell out. So again, I love players like CJGJ. You hate him and you love him, and you love him and you hate him, and you're constantly on an emotional roller coaster with him, but at the end of the day, you respect him. You respect him. You respect the hustle. You respect the grind. Nobody can't tell me nothing. Nobody can't tell me nothing about our secondary. I'll take my defense against anybody's, any conference, any division. Run it up. Lace it up. Come on now. Come on now. There's levels to this shit. There's levels to it. And sooner or later, the ops gonna realize it. Sooner or later, the ops gonna realize it. That's all. You feel me? That's all it is. So again, I say, this defense is the key to victory. This defense is the key to the run. If they keep doing what they've been doing, forcing these turnovers, interceptions, forced fumbles, playing good red zone defense, keeping points off the board, we know the offense is going to put up points. You can't hold down Saquon Barkley too long. We know Jalen Hurts going to find A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. We know how this game goes. We've seen this. I think this defense is more prepared than they've ever been. I think this defense is more prepared than they were in 2022. You know, I can't say 2018 was such a weird year. It's so hard to draw comparisons to 2018, the 2017, 2018 season, the Super Bowl year. It's so hard to draw comparisons to that because that was such a once-in-a-lifetime run. It's so hard to draw comparisons to that. The defense had a great game against Minnesota, right? The defense didn't play too bad against Atlanta. The Super Bowl, that was a shootout. And the defense finally made a play at the end. Shout out to Brandon Graham and Derek Barnett. Brandon Graham strip sacks Tom Brady. Derek Barnett recovers it. We're Super Bowl champions. So I just look at this defense and I say to myself, top to bottom, where's the hole? Where's the hole? Where's the weakness? Now, through all my praise of this defense, through all my praise and adoration of this defense and a guy like CJGJ, and we can give more praise out, we're going to do that as well. I do want to acknowledge someone who's had a couple hiccups the past couple weeks. And I appreciate Ray Bailey for bringing this up. Shout out to my man Ray Bailey in the live stream. He asked me, Tone, the last few weeks, I've seen, well, it's really been 2 weeks, but nonetheless, the last couple weeks, I've seen some uncharacteristic things from Quinyon Mitchell. What do you chalk that up to? You see, I'm glad you asked that question, Ray, because I think it's a valuable question. I think it's a question that we all deserve an answer to, or at least an opinion of. I know you guys value my thought process on this, so I want to give you guys my process. You can agree, you can disagree, you can call me insane, you can say I'm the smartest man in the world. I don't give a fuck. Here's my thought process on the Quinyon Mitchell hiccups these past couple weeks. Despite how dominant he's been at locking down his side of the field, despite how steady he's been for us, we also have to understand that this brother has exceeded all of our expectations beyond belief. We knew Quinyon had the tools to be good, but he was better than good all year round. He's faced some of the best receivers in football and won. So I say that to say Quinyon is having his rookie moment. And that's okay. Better to get it out the way now than to show up in the playoffs, right? Better to get it out of the way now than it show up in the playoffs. He's still a rookie at the end of the day. At the end of the day. And sometimes, and listen, it doesn't matter how talented, it doesn't matter how good you are. The elite of the elite got. That's what people that's what people continue to just not realize. And I'm not even saying Quinyon is elite. I'm not saying that. But the point I'm trying to get across is The elite of the elite get got all the time. The elite of the elite can be dominant for 10 straight weeks, and then they may have a game or two back-to-back where they let up a touchdown. But the question is, when they started to leak oil, did they patch it up? That's the question. When they started to leak oil, did they patch it up? Last time I checked, the Cowboys only had one scoring drive. Only one scoring drive. It wasn't like he gave up 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns in one game, or no. So, yeah, he gave up the touchdown to Scary Terry last week. That was a very strange sequence. He gave him so much space. He gave up the touchdown to Scary Terry. He gave up the touchdown to Tolbert. Cooper Rush threw a pretty beautiful ball. Got to give him credit for that. But if Quinyon turns his head, that's an interception or deflection. So again, you can agree, you can disagree, you can call me crazy, you can say I'm delusional. I don't care. How I process it is he's having his rookie moment. A lot of people forget he isn't the only one that had their rookie moment. He's not the only one. Remember Cooper DeJean, Carolina week, the Panthers week, Adam Thielen? Do y'all remember what happened in that game? Do y'all remember that game? Cooper DeJean versus Adam Thielen. I think that was what? Week 14? Right? That was week 14. Am I correct when I say that? That was week 14, right? Yes. Do we not remember that Cooper DeJean couldn't do nothing with Adam Thielen? Old ass Adam Thielen? Do we not remember that? Now, I say this. Adam Thielen is one of the most technically sound receivers in football. He didn't last in this league. He didn't get as far as he did without being keyed in on his fundamentals and his technique and being deceptive. Adam Thielen was never the fastest dude, never the biggest dude, never the strongest dude. But you know what was sure about Adam Thielen? He was going to run them fucking routes, and his hands was like glue. And you knew them feet were flawless. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah. Welcome to the NFL, Rook. Every now and again, you get got. You get got. People want to act like this is something that's exclusive to the Eagles, or that we're above getting got. You know, we get so wrapped up in the micro sometimes, and I'm not saying the micro isn't important because the details and the nuances matter, but there are times where you got to look at the bigger picture and what has Quinyon Mitchell shown you throughout his very young NFL career? What did he show you? What's the entire resume? What's the entire grand scheme of the picture? He has had his rookie moment. Scary Terry got him, and Jalen Tolbert got him. But last time I checked, the Cowboys only scored one time. That was it. That Washington game, you know, the defense, they had their setback. They had their moment. Some of you guys were saying, hey, we got to get a loss out of the way. We can't go into the playoffs just winning like this. We're going to get got. We gotta get humbled. Some of you guys said that. Some of you guys felt like we needed to go into the playoffs getting humbled at least once. Some of you guys felt that way. Some of you guys felt like that loss in week 16 was good for us. Some of you guys felt that way. The bottom line is, and I go back to what I said earlier, this defense has put up so much good tape, so much good film over the course of this season. I'll be damned if I'm going to be shaken or rattled because someone has a momentary lapse or has a hiccup or they have a game where they get got. This is the NFL. I feel like some people forget that this is the NFL. I feel like some people think this shit is a video game. I mean that shit. I feel like some people believe this is a video game. Some of y'all, and not all of y'all, but a hit dog will holler. Some of y'all motherfuckers think this is fantasy football. Some of y'all get so wrapped up in y'all bets and y'all parlays and shit. Some of y'all get so wrapped up in the video games, and this is real life. A multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. Parity in the NFL was at an all-time high. The elite of the elite get their ass handed to them all the time. But what makes you elite is how you respond and how consistent you are. No one is above it. No one is above it. Shout out to my little brother, Aunt Boogie, man. They was waxing poetic about the Packers all year long. They was waxing poetic about the Packers. Oh, the Packers are coming. Jordan Love, man. That guy, Jordan Love, I love the way he throws that football. Jordan Love is phenomenal. You put Jordan Love in any offense, that man is just different. Jordan Love is a freak of nature. Man, oh man, that guy is magical. And they lay an egg against Minnesota. They lay an egg against Minnesota. The way they spiced Green Bay because they put up 34 points on the Saints and shut them out. Because they put up 30 points on Seattle. Let's really think about what they've done. Like all jokes aside, yo. All jokes aside, I don't believe in the Packers. Everybody keeps saying, hey, the Packers are going to be a tough matchup if the Eagles get them in the first round. I'm telling you, yo, the Packers are food. They're finito. They're basura. They're done. Shout out to my man LB. They're not good. Do you want? Let me tell you who the Packers have beaten this year. Let me tell you. You guys are going to see. It's so easy to get lost in the sauce. Let me tell you who the Packers have beaten this year, and then you tell me how serious they are. Let me tell you. The Packers have beaten the Colts, the Titans, the Rams, the Cardinals, the Texans, the Jaguars, the Bears, the 49ers, the Dolphins, the Seahawks, and the Saints. For real? For real? I'm supposed to be scared of them? They haven't beaten a contender. Not once this year. They haven't even beaten. They're not even the best team in their division. They haven't even beaten. Most of the teams they beaten are not even in the playoffs. But I'm supposed to take them serious. I'm supposed to look at Jordan Love as like this savior or like this guy. For real? I'm sorry. I don't buy the Packers. You want to know who they lost to? They lost to the Minnesota Vikings twice. They lost to the Detroit Lions twice. And they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles week 1 in Brazil, neutral site. It don't matter where we are. We could whoop their ass on the moon. We could whoop their ass on Mars. We could whoop their ass underwater. We could whoop their ass in Elysium. Shout out to Matt Damon. It don't matter where we at. Green Bay don't have it. They don't have it. That defense is food. Their quarterback is inconsistent. I'm sorry. I don't believe you. We don't believe you. Come on, man. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Don't ever put them in the same category as us, ever. Don't put them in the same category as us. Hey, Raj, I don't got to play. Fuck them. They asked me. I ain't got to play. They got to play. They ain't got to take them lightly. I could take them lightly all I want. They got to play them, not me. I told y'all, I don't just pay attention to one-offs. I pay attention to the trends. The trends say when the Packers had to play a contender, when they had to play a team that had a record that was equal to them or better than them, they could not run with them. They couldn't do it. That's what the trends say. I'm sorry. I don't believe them. And if I'm taking them lightly, it's irrelevant. I'm not the one that got to put the helmet on and the shoulder pads on and lace it up. I'm a spectator. I could talk all the shit I want. I could talk all the trash I want. I don't get paid to play football. I get paid to talk about it. So I say again, they're food. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. If I got to answer for my disrespect, God damn it, I'm going to answer for it. If I got to eat my words, hey, bring the plate, bring the forks and the spoons. We going to be here for a while. It come with the territory. Ain't no hole in my blood. I fear nothing in this space. I fear nothing. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. I ain't never ran from it. That's all I'm saying. I'm going into this thing confident. I'm going into this thing like, you better believe. Listen, if you don't believe you a god, go hang with the peasants. If you don't believe you a god, go hang with the peasants. I'm sorry. I know this kind of talk makes people uncomfortable. I know this level of confidence makes people uncomfortable. I get it. I used to be one of those people. When you're around somebody who's so confident and has the courage of their convictions regardless of the outcome, that shit make people nervous. But once I found my confidence, once I found my voice and discovered who I am and what I believe and what I stand for and what I'm not going to stand for, oh yeah, it's power in that. It's freedom in that. It's freedom in it. Take the cuffs off. Be free like me. Be free like me. You ain't got to hedge your bet. Talk your shit. And guess what? If it don't go our way, you live by it and you die by it. It is what it is. It's the nature of the game. But I say again, this team will go as far as where the defense takes them. I believe that wholeheartedly. This team will go as far as the defense takes them. And I trust this defense against anybody, any quarterback, any receiver, any running back, any offensive line. I trust this defense against any offensive coordinator. I fear nothing. Don't some of y'all get it by now? Make sure you guys smash that like button. You guys are tuned into a very enthusiastic episode of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. If you guys are new, hey, man, you guys are getting me full frontal, baby. You guys are getting this thing uncut. The best dope on the scene. Never been stepped on. You feel me? Y'all catching me in my bag right now. If you're new to the platform, if you're new to the show, this is what you get. You get passion. You get enthusiasm. You get electricity. You get that feeling right through your veins. Whether you agree or disagree, you're going to feel me. Whether you agree or disagree, you're going to feel me. You gonna feel me. That's all. Love me or hate me, you gonna feel me. All right, we talked about the defense a lot. My man Caleb Throws This asked a very interesting question that I definitely want to get to him. I definitely want to cover. He says, Tone, what's your opinion on the record? Before I answer that question, let me get to these super chats. My man John Monroe Jr. with the $10 super chat. Thank you, my man. He says, Happy Victory Monday, Brother Tone. Go Birds. The defense continues to suffocate offenses. Our depth on both sides will be key for the Super Bowl run. Let's fucking go. Monroe, you're so right, my friend. You're so right. The depth we have on defense, the way Oren Burks and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. came in and did their thing was a sight to see. Nakobe Dean didn't play yesterday. Oren Burks and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. was kind of doing this, piecemeal thing. Oren Burks played the bulk of the snaps, I believe, but him and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. was kind of exchanging opportunities. So, and then you still got Isaiah Rodgers and Ringo waiting for their opportunity, right? You got guys like Thomas Booker and Milton Williams and Moro Ojomo. You got depth in some pretty good areas, right? You got Bryce Huff. Even though some people don't like him like that, he's still a depth piece that's valuable. He's still on this roster who can help you. Jalen's Hunt, the young brother, like this team has depth in some pretty important positions. So, Monroe, I feel you 100%. Thank you for the super chat. Fanny, the Eagles fan, what's going on, sweetheart? Happy to always see you. Thank you for the super chat. She says, haters can continue to walk with the pigeons. As for me, I'm strong with the Eagles. Exactly, Fanny, exactly. You see, when you fly as high, people got to understand that the heights Eagles fly at, the air is so thin. They're the only predator, the only animal that can survive at that height, at that altitude. It's not easy living and flying amongst the gods. It's not easy. The air is thinner up there. It's colder up there. It's harsher. It's suffocating. You can't breathe. Some people are afraid of what they don't know. But I've seen it. You've seen it. We've all seen what it's like to fly that high. We've seen it. We've experienced it. I need that feeling again. I need that hit again. I need it. That Super Bowl, winning it, it's like a drug. You need it. Once you had a taste, you can't get enough of it. So I'm sorry. I refuse to settle. I refuse to talk modestly. I refuse to just be humble. I refuse to when it comes to this team. We've been through too much. We've seen too much. We know what we're capable of. I refuse to be humble and modest about this. I believe this team has everything they need to win it all. All they got to do is go out and claim it. Claim it. Thank you for the super chat, Fanny. But yeah. We got to discuss Saquon Barkley before we get out of here. Saquon Barkley is he's otherworldly. There isn't a running back in football that is playing the way he's playing, doing what he's doing, the way he's doing it. There's no running back that looks like him and does what he does, and the versatility, the guy that can do it all. And I'm not trying to slight Derrick Henry. I'm not trying to slight, Josh Jacobs or Aaron Jones or Bijan Robinson. I'm not trying to slight those guys. But there's levels to this thing right now. And Derrick Henry is the king for a reason. You know, he's been that dude. Let's not even pretend it. But in this moment, Christian McCaffrey, right? Christian McCaffrey, almost forgot about him. My apologies. But Saquon Barkley is just the way he runs, the way he does it, the patience, the ability to maneuver and dodge the bullets in traffic and just stop and cut and go and hurdle and spin. And is there a more creative running back in football right now? I'm asking y'all. Is there a more creative running back in football? Someone who just runs and it's almost like they're, you know, I've likened Saquon Barkley's run. It feels like he's in the Matrix. If you guys have seen the Matrix, you know what I'm talking about. There was a moment where Neo didn't believe he was the one. He questioned his destiny. He questioned if he was the one to save Zion, if he was the one to fulfill the prophecy. Only one person believed in him, and that was Morpheus. In the moment Neo believed, the moment when Neo was faced with a life or death situation, where he had to save Morpheus, he had to save Trinity, when he was faced with adversity and he had his opportunity, he accessed the Matrix code. When his life was on the line in the subway and Smith took his life, he accessed the Matrix code. He wasn't just seeing the world how we saw it. He was seeing it. He accessed the Matrix. He was seeing it in zeros and ones. There was nothing he couldn't do. There was nothing he could accomplish. Do y'all remember that scene when he was laying in a chair and Tank asked him, the operator, Tank, he said, okay, we're gonna skip the boring stuff. Let's get to the tough skills. Neo laid down. They plugged him in. He plugged in that memory card. All of a sudden, Neo woke up. He said, yo, I know Kung Fu. I know Kung Fu. Morpheus leaned over at him and said, show me. And Saquon Barkley is showing us week in and week out that he knows Kung Fu, that he's cracked the code. He's not just operating in the Matrix, he is the Matrix. He's bending the game to his will. This man has cracked 2,000 rushing yards. Only 8 running backs before him have done it. He's the 9th running back in NFL history to crack 2,000 yards. You know how many great running backs we've seen in this game? You know how many talented guys we've seen in this game? And they haven't cracked 2,000 yards? Do you know how many guys we have seen play the running back position? But we gotta really put this shit in perspective. And honestly, some of you guys say he should go for the record. Some of you guys say, hey, rest him. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I can't really tell you what I want for him to do. I can't really tell you what I want him to do. But all I know is whatever decision they make, I'm gonna be okay with it. That's where I'm at. I can't sit here and definitively say he should go for the record or they should rest him. I'm sorry. I can't make a case for both sides of this thing. So I'll say this. Whatever decision they do make, I'll be okay with it. And I'll live with it. Whatever decision they make, I'll be okay with it. And like S. Blunt said, Jalen Hurts got to play anyway. I need Jalen Hurts to get some action. There's no way I'm letting Jalen Hurts go into the playoffs cold. There's no way. There's no way I'm letting Jalen Hurts go into the playoffs and coming off of a concussion, 2 weeks off. I'm not doing it. So Jalen Hurts got to play anyway. Jalen Hurts probably going to play a quarter or a half anyway. So I'm just saying. And all of you guys are making great points. Hey, we trying to get a Super Bowl. Yes. But no matter how confident I am, a Super Bowl is not guaranteed. That's the part that people got to understand too. But they don't talk about it from that angle. A Super Bowl is not guaranteed either. No matter how confident I am, a Super Bowl is not guaranteed. Most running backs never crack 2,000 yards ever again in their career when they do it. This will be his only opportunity to do so. His only opportunity. Like I said, I can come up for reasons why they shouldn't play him. I can come up for reasons why they can play him. But all I can say to you guys, honestly, because I never lie to you guys. All I can do is just give you my honest thoughts on this, even if it's boring. I never want to say anything just for clicks. I never want to do anything just to make a fool out of myself. And I don't operate that way. I gotta operate in my truth. And my truth tells me whatever they do, whatever the coaches decide, I'm going to be okay with it. I'm going to be okay with it. I've seen Saquon Barkley run for 100 yards in one quarter. I've seen Saquon Barkley get 140 rushing yards on 2 runs. That's the kind of talent he is. We've seen Saquon Barkley get 100 yards in a quarter. We've seen Saquon Barkley get 140 yards on 2 runs alone. We've seen that. So he's that good. He's that good. I'm sorry, you guys. I can't say I don't want him to go forward. I can't say that the Super Bowl isn't the most important thing. I can't. I'm torn. Because yes, health is wealth, but he can get hurt in the first game of the playoffs. You still got to play the game. You still got to play the game. Nothing is guaranteed in this game. That's why you go. That's why you go out and you play it the way you play it. You play it the way you play it. Simple as that. And let's be honest about this, you guys. Let's be honest about this. In comparison to Saquon Barkley's time in New York, he has not taken anywhere near as many hits as he did in New York. He has not had to have work. He has not had to have work any harder than he has before. I can make an argument that Saquon Barkley, even though he has a career high in carries, I can make an argument that Saquon Barkley has never had it any easier. Any easier. Do you guys realize that most of those runs, he goes untouched for like 3 or 4 yards? He goes untouched. He goes like seriously. There are times where Saquon Barkley doesn't even get touched. There's times where he doesn't even take the hits that he would normally take in any other system or offense. He's that dominant. Again, I can make a case for both sides of the table. That's why my perspective is whatever decision they make, I'm cool with it. Whatever decision they make, I'm cool with it. You can't legislate injuries. You can't predict them. You can't prevent them. All you can do is focus on your routine, eat well, Stay on top of your conditioning, and whatever happens, happens. Let me get to these super chats. My man S. Blunt with the $5 super chat. He says, why can't we go for both? We can't talk confidently about winning, but are scared about injury. I agree 100%, Blunt. I agree 100% with that. We can have both. We can have both. He can get hurt anytime. Saquon Barkley can stub his toe in his house. God forbid. He can stub his toe. He can smash his hand in the car, in the car door. Anything can happen. I don't fear it the way other people fear it. J62 Moon, my guy. Thank you for the super chat. He says, go for the record. Rest AJ in the defense. Man, the reality is if Hurts plays and Saquon plays, they're all playing. They're all playing. That's the thing. Now, when they play or how long they play could be the conversation, right? You could treat it like a preseason game. Hey, Saquon, you got 15 carries to get it. You got 20 carries to get it. As a matter of fact, and thank you for the super chat, Jay. Let me ask you guys a hypothetical question here. Let's just say Saquon does play tomorrow, right? Let's just say Saquon does play. And by the way, Hurts needs to play, by the way. Hurts needs to play. He needs to play. Coming off the concussion, didn't play last week, barely played in week 16. No, he got to play. I need to see Hurts, throw that ball and, you know what I mean? He got to play. You don't want to go into the playoffs cold like that. But let me ask you guys a hypothetical question here. Let's say, hypothetically, Saquon does play. How many touches do you think he needs to get 101 yards? I'm asking you guys now. Hypothetically speaking, if Saquon Barkley gets his number called, how many carries do you think he needs to get 101 yards? Think about it before you answer. Think about it. Think about it before you answer. You're playing the New York Giants, one of the worst run defenses in football. They have nothing to play for besides pride and ego. This offensive line. How many carries do you guys think he needs to get it? If he plays. Caleb throws this says 18. Rufus says 10 to 15 tops. Battle Post says 15 to 20. Witch King says 12 carries. Rufus Tolbert says 15 to 25. That's a pretty big gap, Rufus. I'm looking for something a little bit more, a little tighter, a little more specific. Philly 404 says 7 carries. Danny D says 13 to 16 carries. Okay. D878 says 15. Quadir Ali says, I think he does it in 15 or less. Irvin James says 6 carries. Raj Sunanin says 10 to 15. Will Kelly says 10. Mr. Carter says 20 carries. S. Blunt says 17 to 20. KGK says 18 exactly. Irvin James says 2 series. Chris B says 20. Robert Bryant says 15. My man Marcus is crazy. Shout out to the coach, man. Shout out to Pro Fan Talk. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Pro Fan Talk. This is my guy, my OG, man. Got a lot of love for him. He says he'll need all of them because Kellen Moore will run up the middle every different time. Oh, man. Chuck Salzman says 20 to 25. Trey says 15. Marathon Man says 18 carries. Will Kelly says 3 Wildcats. Spy City says 16. Wharf says 15 should do it. Queasy says, Tone, where you get that snapback from? I seen Tanner McKee had it on yesterday. If I'm being honest with you guys, shout out to my dad. My dad got this for me for my birthday. My birthday is tomorrow, by the way. But my dad got it for me as an early birthday gift. I don't know where he got it from. My dad ordered this stuff. My dad found this stuff for me, man. I did notice the team had on their classic stuff yesterday, man. They was looking good, man. They was looking good. So I don't know where my dad got it from, if I'm being honest. But my dad got it for me for a birthday gift. My birthday is tomorrow. So yeah, man. Shout out to my dad, Antonio DeShields II. Love him to the moon and back. You know what I mean, Dad? You know you my guy. You already know how we give it up, man. Man, you talk damn near every day. You know, shout out to my mother, Carolyn Palmer. She knows we talk about every day. Shout out to my little brother, Aunt Boogie. You know what I mean? Same mom, same dad. You know, I'm keeping it in the family. Shout out to my grandmother, my aunts, my uncles, cousins. You know what I mean? Shout out to my stepmother, Angela Johnson, beautiful woman, beautiful soul. Shout out to my brothers, my stepbrothers, Naquan, Rob. Shout out to my family, man. Shout out to my, you know what's so funny? I don't even like the whole stepbrother thing, but the whole step thing, I really don't like it. I only say it, to draw a distinction. But the way I see it, y'all, I got 2 moms. I got 3 brothers. I don't really buy into the whole step thing. We family. We eat together. You know what I mean? That's how it go. I don't buy into that. So I got 2 moms. I got 3 brothers. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? That's my blood. You know what I mean? That's how I see it, man. They've been in my life for as long as I can remember. That's how I see it. Those are my brothers. Rain, sleet, or snow, we train to go. And I'll be turning 30 tomorrow. And I wouldn't be where I am without the love and the support of people like the people, without the support of the people I mentioned. I wouldn't be where I am without the love and the nurturing of my mothers and my father and my brothers and my aunts and my uncles and my cousins and my grandparents. I wouldn't be here without their support. I wouldn't be here without them pouring into me and providing me with the utmost belief that I can achieve anything that I want to achieve as long as I work hard and I commit myself to the grind, no matter if it's a good day or a bad day. And that's the part that people leave out, right? You know, a lot of people tell these kids you can be whatever you want to be. And sure you can, but they're not telling them the whole story. The whole story is, yeah, you can be whatever you want to be if you work at it, if you work hard, if you commit yourself, if you fight through the bad days and don't get too high on the good ones. That's the real key. That's the real key. Because everybody can't be whatever they want. Because everybody not built to work hard for it. Everybody don't have it in them. But you can. You can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want. As long as you work hard. As long as you commit yourself to it. My dad and my mom, my parents taught me early. Ain't no handouts, son. Ain't no handouts. I don't care what they say out there on TV. I don't care what they say out there in the streets. I don't care what they say. Ain't no handouts in this motherfucker. Ain't none. Go out and earn it. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what they saying. I don't care who you work for. I don't care if they don't like you. You go and get it. You go and get it. No excuses in my household. Wasn't allowed. No excuses. So again, shout out to my dad for getting me the Kelly Green gear, man. He got me the hat. My dad got me the hoodie as well. My dad is always in the live streams. So you guys got to ask him, Antonio DeShields Sr. He's always in the live streams. So ask him where he got this stuff from. I have no idea. I have no idea. But we're going to begin to close the show out, you guys. Thank you so much for believing in me. Thank you for supporting the channel the way you guys done. I'm even grateful for the opposition. You know, the opposing fan bases. I like y'all too. You know, we talk our trash, we talk our shit, you know. But I appreciate y'all too, because y'all help this thing go as well. Whether you believe it or not. Just know I see y'all and I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all you guys who support this channel. Because you don't have to. You got options. You got options. You got too many people in this space that think this shit is a given. You got too many people in this thing that think it's a given, that they deserve the adoration. They deserve the views. They deserve the likes, and people think they deserve this shit. They entitled. No. This is a gift. It's a gift. And I have a responsibility to savor and take care of that gift that you guys have bestowed upon me. Simple as that. Simple as that. So I appreciate y'all. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Your Philadelphia Eagles are on the path of making history in many more ways than one. I believe this team can win it all. I believe we can have it all. Why can't we have it all? Now I sound like a parent who gave up their career. Why can't we have it all? We can have it all. So shout out to you guys, man. It's always fun kicking it. By the way, you guys, make sure you tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern time. 9 p.m. Eastern time. We will be live at the Link Up featuring Simone Stanley, the lovely Simone Stanley, the brazen, the brash, the charismatic Lord Brunson, and myself, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. So make sure you guys tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern time. That's 8 p.m. Central time, 7 p.m. Mountain time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, all right? We're going to be live at the Link Up. Can't wait to have a conversation with you guys, and I can't wait to kick it with my people, man. It's going to be a fun one. Like I said, smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.